Wow, can you believe it? I'm still doing these things. Hey everyone, it's Andrew from Pricebox Productions, and welcome back to another Hi, I'm Mary short. And apparently, like I said, I'm still doing this, even though this one is very far removed from the last one I did. And I don't even remember what number this is. But yeah, she's still updating a lot of stuff on the blog, and she has a new video up, which I'm not going to do a reaction to because for reasons being that I finished doing the reactions a long time ago. That's why I'm doing these shorts, because it'll allow me to sort of elaborate on some things that have happened and allow me to make some kind of analysis on it on the fly rather than just having to do the whole reaction and everything. But I'm going to show clips of it to show you what I'm talking about. So anyway, there have been some new changes to the series, and that's what we're going to be getting into in this video, and some of them seem rather drastic. Alright, so the video starts off pretty normal. She's in the house, the monsters are all over the place, it's nighttime, and she wants to go into the garden because as long as she's in the house when it's nighttime, the monsters are far more active. So she finally manages to get past Hood Mary and get into the garden. Only things are now completely different. It's now raining, and according to Mary, it's almost never sunny. And she keeps running into some other things, like she keeps finding old, broken things, or things that are just flat out abandoned. She even finds another bridge, and in this case, it's just a long, dark tunnel with a very faint light at the other end. Sometimes when she tries to go into the garden, she doesn't even end up in the garden. She ends up back in that lake or whatever, or that sea she ends up in the first time she went through the door. There have also been some other things that have happened too. In the drawing she put up on her blog, she shows like a bunch of black scribbles on her hand. And later on in this video, one of the things we see is that while she's looking at her hand inside the house, a bunch of black lines come up all around it, seemingly following her veins in her arm or whatever. And during this point, the shadow monster makes itself seen in the background. So it looks like the house is beginning to corrupt her or something. And the corruption's even spreading into the garden, because at least at one point during the video, she goes into the tunnel and reaches the end, and then she turns around and goes back. The shadow monster looks like it somehow managed to get in because it closes off the other end of the tunnel and even chases her down during that whole time. Another thing I noticed that while she's in the garden, there's a very faint warbling sound in the audio of the video for some reason. So it kind of gives the indication that the garden is no longer safe, and now it's beginning to sort of either corrupt or it's beginning to like fall apart. Because during the end of the video, she goes back into the garden again, and this time it's covered in snow. So what does this mean exactly? For me, it could mean that the garden is actually beginning to die, or it's just gonna fade eventually. Because usually when the garden is depicted as sunny, it's usually depicted as very positive, very happy, very not very lively, because there aren't any other life forms in there except her and maybe the lady in white. But a lot of the plants are still alive. It's very green, very lush. It's very comforting. But this time when she goes in there, it's dark, and it's raining, it's not sunny anymore. And then later on, it's just covered in snow, and there's a whole lot of abandoned cars and just dark tunnels and everything all over the place. So it makes me think that the garden is either being corrupted or it's beginning to die on its own, and she's gonna have to eventually confront the demons of the house she's in. Now, I remember the theory that I had earlier on, and if you don't know the theory I had, go back and watch the playlist for Hi, I'm Mary that I have on my channel. I mentioned that this is very reminiscent of Silent Hill, particularly Silent Hill: The Room, and that's something that always happens in Silent Hill, is that the player character always has to confront their fears or their anxieties or their demons at some point in order to actually eventually get out of Otherworld. And that seems to be what's happening here. The garden is beginning to go away, meaning that there's going to have to be a confrontation between her and the monsters to show whether or not she can eventually escape the house, or will she be stuck there and eventually become just like everything else, considering that looks like she's beginning to be corrupted by the Shadow Man. So that's pretty much all the stuff I got for Hi, I'm Mary for this. So be sure to check out my other videos, as well as Pricebox Productions videos, or our channel's Pricebox Gaming and Pricebox Reacts. And if you're interested, check out the I Am Mary Mary blog, and also check out the playlist on my channel that has my reactions and my other analysis on it. So thanks for watching, and stay jamming, everyone.